Hello, welcome back to a Work Wednesday.
It's Wednesday, Work Wednesday.
Yes, we're here, your hosts, Joe and Janelle.
Joe and Janelle and Joe,
Yes.
on the Brave Stories podcast. If you haven't been following, the last couple of weeks, we've been doing different kinds of episodes focused on work on Wednesdays and social settings on Saturdays.
Yes.
And one specific tip on how to be brave in different situations, whether it's work or social.
Exactly.
It's been great.
It's been great. We love the alliteration. It's been fun.
Oh, yeah.
So today we are back to work because it is a Wednesday.
It's a Work Wednesday.
And we're going to talk about another area where you do really need bravery, and that is interviews.
Interviews. Man, if there's one area in life, we talked about first dates
Yeah.
on Social Saturday, but interviews, they take so much bravery.
Yeah. In the work setting, that does take a lot of bravery. Turning up to an interview. And I mean, there's so many aspects within it that take bravery. Obviously, there's just the actual turning up and being there, not knowing what questions you're going to be asked and having to answer whatever comes at you.
Yeah.
But there's also the thing of, in some cultures, it can be quite uncomfortable talking about yourself, promoting yourself. There's so many things. But today we're just going to talk about one little area. One
tip. And the area we're going to talk about is usually the first question you get in any interview, unless the interviewer is a bit, different or has prepared it differently, is often you sit down and the first question you get is, tell me about yourself.
Yes.
And that's such a tough question.
It's such an open-ended question.
It's so open. What does that question even mean?
Yeah.
What do you want to know about me? And so the tip we're going to give you today is essentially how to answer that question.
And this is very practical. I mean,
So
this
practical.
can come in very handy.
It's a simple framework, and I can't say that I made this up or we made this up.
No.
I'm pulling this from a LinkedIn post, which is going to be in the link to it is going to be in the show notes. You can check it out just below. It's from a guy called Daniel Botero. I'm going to read it out a little bit, and then we're going to have a chat about it, okay?
Mm-hmm. Great.
So, a simple framework to answering that question, tell me about yourself. Here we go. So, essentially it's running through present, past, future. Okay, so present, those three areas. Your answer should say present, where you currently are. Past, what experiences have helped you prepare for this role. And future, how will you contribute if you get the role?
Great.
So that's, I'll go into it in more detail in a second, but that's essentially very high level. Present, where you are now.
Mm-hmm.
Past, how you got to where you are. And the future, how you'll contribute.
Great.
Does that seem like a good structure to you, just
It
reflecting
does.
straight away?
Yeah, for sure. I think the future part's really cool as well, because I think often when you think, tell me about yourself, you don't really think to talk about the future.
Yeah.
I think that's really great. It shows also that you're forward thinking and future thinking.
Totally.
And that you've thought about what it would be like if you got this job.
Exactly. So let me go into a bit more detail on each of those. First of all, let's discuss the present. So say you got asked this question. Tell me about yourself. He's prepared it here in the post around someone who's like a new grad or finishing their studies. So my name is, this might be your answer. My name is Joe. I'm studying this topic at this school. My GPA is something, and my expected graduation is something. I'm very honored to have the opportunity to talk to you today about the position. From my research and speaking with people in the department, I understand you're looking for people that have the following main skills, and you might list 2 or 3 main skills. And so that's really your present piece, okay?
And that's really good that you've done the research beforehand, right?
Research, absolutely
Crucial
key.
in an interview.
Man, and already in that present piece, you got, what you're studying, basically how intelligent you are, that GPA piece.
Yeah.
If you're a new grad, maybe that's interesting. If you're not, probably not so interesting.
Yeah.
Great to be able to speak to you about the role, and here's what I understand about the role and the skills you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So already you're starting to present that. That's the present.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just jump into the past.
Mm-hmm.
So you've just talked about those skills that the role would need. Then you go straight into the past. I was able to build skill number 1 that you already mentioned by
nice. ... Yes.
Okay.
So you're showing how you have all these skills.
Yes. I worked on a project that allowed me to build skill maybe number 2 by, and so you're already showing some really practical examples, because that's crucial in an interview. Like, talking about something big and a bit ethereal, often people want examples. What did you
They want
concretely
stories.
do? Yeah. I conducted research on maybe the third skill, and it led to ... The key here is discuss how you have built the skills and experience they are looking for in this role, like we just said. And finally, on the future piece, you could say something like this. For the reasons we will be discussing in the rest of the interview, I feel like I would be a great candidate for the position. And so essentially there you can just sum up what you've said. You don't need to go into a huge amount of detail yet because the rest of the interview is going to be all about that, right?
Yeah.
But it's good to give a bit of a future-focused angle in that first question. Important to say, don't just memorize this. If you go look at the LinkedIn post, don't just memorize it and make it robotic. It's got to sound like you.
Yeah, natural.
That's super important.
Very crucial.
But it gives you a good structure, I think, to thinking about how to answer that question.
Yeah, that's great. Super practical.
There you
Very
go.
helpful.
Yeah.
And just knowing that you have answers and things you can say going into an interview really does help you to be brave. It's the preparation, right? Being prepared helps bravery.
Exactly. And especially for that first tricky question, tell me about yourself. Because there's nothing worse than going off down a rabbit hole of, I enjoy cooking, I enjoy watching television, and they probably don't really want to know about that.
They don't really care.
Maybe they do, but I think that's probably a better framework.
It is. It is a good idea.
So that was the latest Work Wednesday about interviews and that first dreaded question, tell me about yourself.
So if you have an interview coming up, how about you read this LinkedIn post, prepare this, and let us know if you get asked this question and if you can use this idea, this framework.
Yes, let us know. Hit us up on Instagram at braveandlucky.life. That's at braveandlucky.life. We'd love to know. And otherwise, we'll see you again soon for another Social Saturday.
Yes.
On Saturday.
We'll be in your ears, or if you're on YouTube, on your screen on Saturday. Bye.
Bye.